Hey, I'm Kent Jones. I got into pro wrestling, talking about pro wrestling online in the 1990s. And from there, when Blog Talk Radio was born, I launched a radio show known as Talk Wrestling Live. I've been talking about professional wrestling online for a very, very long time. First, I used to talk about Monday Nitro, their pay-per-views, and Thunder. And from there, I transitioned into being a TNA guy. I talked on Talk Wrestling Live. I built quite a following. Back in the early days, it was AOL, talking on the AOL forums, uploading my my sound clips to the AOL forums, and we were one of the few and first people on the internet talking about wrestling. And I started talking about it on Blog Talk Radio, which is gone. Blog Talk Radio has come and went. And they used to have live callers on Blog Talk Radio, and we talk about professional wrestling. And we have all kinds of callers. People call in during the early TNA, not early, it was the pay-per-view era, the monthly pay-per-view era of TNA. But I remember when Booker T was going to have, the mystery partner was going to be Booker T. He turned out to be Booker T. But Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were both tied up into the match. I can't really recall everything. But a caller called in and said that he thought the mystery partner was Kevin Hall. Kevin Hall. Just hilarious shit like that. It became so on our radio show for a long time. Our favorite wrestler was Kevin Hall. Whenever someone would talk about greats, we'd be like, is he greater than Kevin Hall? Just inside jokes after inside jokes. And then I got into, oh yeah, and obviously Zach Mintz. If you haven't seen any of my videos about Zach Mintz was an alter ego. He was a WWE fan. He loved WWE, but he loved it for all the stupid reasons. Well, all WWE fans love WWE for stupid reasons. But his was, he felt he had a skateboard, so he was cooler than you. So that's why he was a cooler WWE fan than you are. Just ridiculous, over the top shit like that. And so we had alternate egos, Zach Mintz, we had Kevin Hall, and we used to always talk to them as if they were real people. And that was, I enjoy entertainment. I don't perceive myself like Dave Meltzer, a pro wrestling journalist. I don't see myself like that. I don't see myself like the Ango show as a wrestling news reporter. I don't see myself like that. I don't see myself like Chris Van Vliet. Here's a microphone, interview said wrestler. I don't get it. I don't get down with that. Never have, never will. I'm just a passionate TNA fan that thinks TNA wrestling is the best damn wrestling on the face of the earth. And I just spill my guts about how I feel about TNA wrestling. I don't claim to be a reporter, don't claim to be a journalist. I don't claim any of that. I'm just a tie-hard TNA wrestling fan. And that's all I am. And when I got onto YouTube, YouTube was creative. It was interesting. And I got on YouTube around 2006, maybe even 2005. I got on YouTube and we talked about professional wrestling, and everybody got in on it. When I started talking about wrestling on YouTube, it blew up. It was a whole community of people that, quote unquote, were YouTube shooters. People that shot the shit about professional wrestling. They were YouTube shooters. And everybody that had an opinion about wrestling would jump on. WWE fans, TNA fans, everything. It attracted every kind of person. I think of names like Oliver Scott and Moral Virus and Truth Slayer. Those people, we changed how people perceived wrestling on YouTube. We were wrestling on YouTube. We were wrestling on YouTube. If you looked up wrestling on YouTube, you'd probably find our video before you'd find WWE's content or TNA's content. We were out there, and we were talking about everything that happened in wrestling and everything that was past, present, and future. It was a fun time to be, and I thought those were great times. Great freaking times. And now I have 10,000, well, I almost have 10,000 subscribers. I imagine if I had the following that I had back then and the subscribers that I had today, I said it before, I'll say it again, I'd be a fucking millionaire. I'd be a fucking millionaire. Because back then people didn't get paid to be on YouTube. You didn't get paid to talk about anything, more or less talk about wrestling. People didn't get paid to talk about YouTube, do YouTube videos. It wasn't a thing. YouTube was brand freaking new off the presses. And I just have to say, I want to bring it back to what it was. I don't like the slick Ango show, Chris Van Vliet. I don't like that stuff. And I ain't knocking them, and I hope they keep on making money doing what they're doing. But I want YouTube to return to original content, not people like Devon Dudley, who doesn't have a creative personality. It's that Devon Dudley has a wrestling following, so that's why his YouTube channel is big. He doesn't produce a good content show. It's not that. It's that he has a wrestling personality, so people watch him. The same reason with Jim Cornette and Eric Bischoff. So all these wrestlers that have jumped in on this because they said, hey, look, we can use our name and we can skip the line. Well, you're going to go back to the back of the fucking line where you bitches belong. Because just because you have a following in wrestling doesn't mean you're a content creator. Because you're not a content creator. This is our world. And it's time we take our world back. It's time the Moral Viruses, the Oliver Scotts, the MB700s, and the Ken Joneses of this world take the YouTube wrestling community back. Because we are the YouTube wrestling community. I'm Kent Jones. I'm signing off.